One and done.
I'll never forget that, because then you started ignoring me, and I was like really pissed off.
So I got to once again see the psychoness that,
Okay.
Put us locked up.
Nothing pisses me off more than someone ignoring me. Just be honest. That is the problem. I think with a lot of relationships, it's, when you stop that, when you ignore someone, God, dude, it can bring out the crazy in anybody. It really can. I mean, it does it with me, with my family, with my kids. When they ignore me and they're mad at me, God, it really does. It'll bring the fire out real quick.
And I can see that, but on my behalf though too, or for my sake, I didn't feel, especially at that time, I didn't owe you anything. Everything was still so new and fresh, and
I think it's an immature thing too.
For sure.
I think a lot of immature people, that includes, when we're all younger, we tend to just, play the field and, I'm not gonna pick that up. I'm just gonna let it ring.
I'm gonna let him think about what I'm doing.
Yeah, so it's like, you start going insane. I mean, I've had that done to me a lot in the past, and I've done it a lot too. But yeah, so then, anyways, back to the story. So I ended up moving, living in that particular house, and it actually went up for sale. So I ended up, after a full year. No, let me backtrack it. Let me backtrack that. So 5 months I'm living in this house. You won't talk to me. The other girl won't talk to me. Well, finally, the other girl does speak to me. So the other girl ends up moving into the house. So this person, it was a relationship at the time that I thought I wanted, and she probably thought she wanted to, and but it ended up going south, and for whatever reason, two different people. I have no bad words of anybody in my past, because I think, just because we didn't work out doesn't make them a bad person, doesn't make me a bad person, but just not a compatible people. And I even went to counseling with this person, marriage counseling, and I remember, I'll never forget it, almost like it was yesterday. But we went to, and I told this particular person, I was like, look, there's no way I can marry you. And I knew why. I knew why in my heart, because I felt she was there. She was always going to be the one, even though I was playing the games, living life. What was I, 31 at the time, 32? And it was like,
I made things hard. I always looking cute, bringing KSR around looking cute, and just
every time. So when I would argue with this particular person, or any person in general, since I had met her, I could call her up and be like, I'm mad at her. I would tell her my problem. She sits here and listens. Now, for whatever reason, why you did stuff like that, I have no idea.
I was dumb.
Because you love me. But, regardless, to me, that made me feel so much more about her, because it was kind of like, she's always going to be there, always going to be there. Well, one moment she's not going to be there, and I didn't think about that when I was younger. I didn't think, oh my God, I'm totally screwing this whole chance up. But back to the other, going back to that, we had went to counseling, and I told the girl, and me and the girl ended up going separate ways. And it was a tough breakup for me at that time. I really did care about this particular person, and but I just knew that I was wasting her time, and I knew that it wasn't right for me to continue with that relationship. So that being said, at that time, I ended up having to. They wanted to sell the house I was living in. At that time, it was about 2 years down the road, and I had been with this girl had lived with me for about a year and a half, and then we ended up breaking it off, and I ended up. They called me and was like, hey, you got to get out. Your leases, they were going to sell the house.
Well, they selling that house too, I feel like. I guess back to back, I think. But
so then
I bought a condo. I was in my condo at this point.
Yeah, you were living in your condo, so we were kind of still co-parenting. Mm-hmm. And I remember the time that you and the girl, when she was living with me at the house, you came over in the front yard and y'all were having it out between each other. And I thought y'all were going to, and I remember shutting the door, just letting y'all argue. And do you remember that?
I do, but and I was gonna bring that up, but I didn't remember I couldn't remember if either of us lived there.
You did? Well, she did. Yeah,
You think she did?
I think she did. She was staying with me at that time. Yes.
I made things really hard. I was
Yeah, she was a very yeah, right.
Mhm.
Yeah. So you were trying to make it hard.
And I succeeded.
So no wonder she didn't want me to see my child.
Anyway,
So I guess she could read something I couldn't.
Anyways.
I was just kind of like looking at it like, these two girls are stupid.
anyways,
But I ended up having to, move out of that house. So I ended up renting the house, which was literally the same exact floor plan as what I had, but in reverse. And it was like one house over. So there was a house between us and then that house.
oh really? I was thinking it was right next door, but no, you're right. There was
It was a house in between,
Okay.
same exact floor plan. Ended up living there for about a year. And so I was there for a year, hanging out. So having friends come over, having you come over, having other people come over, having this person come over. So kind of exploring my options, I guess you could say. And still at this time,
as always,
calling her up. Hey, you want to go hang out? You want to go to the bar? You want to go get a drink? And, this girl I was supposed to hang out with tonight didn't show up, or whatever the reason. You want to go? So, I played for about a year by myself.
I thought we went hiking. Is that when we went? Did we remember when we went and did that little weekend thing?
Yes.
That's probably like our first ever getaway, just you and I.
Oh, and back to the show thing that she prepped for. They ended up canceling the show. She never did the show. Just saying.
But I did get to drive by myself to Jersey and meet and train with Daniel and Bailey. So you know what? At the end of the day, it might have all been worth it. It might really have all been worth it.
This was before Daniel and Bailey was actually competing, right?
No, she was definitely. Why would we even try? She was famous. How would I have known about her?
That's right. Maybe I wasn't thinking.
Yeah, they already had Flag Northfield. They already had Flag Northfield. It had already been, a company and everything. And now whether she was not an Olympian or not yet, I'm not sure, but she was definitely competing. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I remember her being kind of well known, but not as well known as she is today.
No,
so, I ended up living there, and so we did go hiking. But back to that, she ended up doing the show. Just kind of put that into perspective and kind of.
That's true. Yes, I did not.
So we can move forward on how this is going to happen.
Yeah.
In the end, but
that's a good ad.
But so never did a show. I'd never done a show at the time, and we ended up. So here we go. We're back to my house, and I was there for a year. We were hanging out. I was hanging out with this person, and actually the ex came back and hung out one night, and then it was kind of one of those things where we just didn't. This isn't good. We don't like this.
I'm learning this. I think I'm learning this for the first time.
No, I told you this.
I feel like I didn't know that. I have a brain injury. It doesn't matter. You probably told me and I forgot.
Do I need
doesn't
to
matter.
Cut this off now?
No.
So, okay. So about that raw. But anyways, just kind of like exploring my options, kind of just really figuring out what I wanted. I guess you could say. But what happens at this point is I rented the house for 1 year.
Game changer.
1 year. And they ended up calling me and was like, we're going to sell the house. I'm like, what in the world is going on with these houses that these people rent out and then decided they just want to sell? And so anyways, that being said, they gave me, I think legally it was not enough time, but I was just kind of like, okay, I just want to be over with this. So let me go find a new house. So I ended up
same neighborhood,
finding another house. So this is the third house, same exact neighborhood. And it was actually a friend of mine at the time. And so I had everything planned to move in. And so actually, the day of that I was supposed to move in, things weren't ready with this house.
I was over there. I was with you. Can I?
You were.
We went over there and we looked at it. So we were doing like a final walkthrough or something like that or something. Not a walkthrough, but.
I'll back up a little bit. She's the friend that she was at the time and still is best friend. I called her. My mom, and my oldest daughter were the ones that were helping us move.
Like packed and everything. Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no one.
But it was very much in a time shuffle. We had.
I don't know what my friends' excuses were at that time, but usually when people have to move, friends don't show up because I always miss it. When someone calls me to move, I'm like, I'm busy.
I was about to say, brother-in-law, I know when you're watching this, if you get this far and you see this, you're going to have to give him some major shiz because he is that person to you and you know it. So yeah, you can't.
I really do have a lot going on.
Yeah.
Though. Like I just can't.
Okay. Go back. We're back to moving.
So we're back to moving. She is helping me. And this house was not ready for me to move in. So we'll just put it like that.
We walk in. Hold on. No, go ahead and go to the full extent.
No.
We walk in. Okay.
No, and because I don't want to go through that.
Okay.
So that's too much detail. It's just more or less.
It wasn't ready.
It wasn't ready. Okay. And I'm kind of like, oh my God, what do I do here? So this is where things hit me. And I don't know. I wouldn't say it hit me then. I won't say that.
Okay.
So she's living by herself in her condo. And we're talking a 2-bedroom with a loft and upstairs, downstairs, double story, 2.5 bath.
Yeah.
Yeah. 2.5 bath.
Yeah.
And 1.5 car garage. So, I mean, it wasn't big, but it wasn't tiny. Well, it was tiny, but wasn't like extremely tiny. So anyways, that being said, she offers, we can put your stuff in storage. I had the biggest truckload and a half, almost 2 truckloads. And I'm like, this is just me, my kids living by myself. And I'm like, I've got 2 bedrooms to pack up. I've got my bedroom and 2 other bedrooms to pack up. So we ended up packing all this stuff up and I ended up renting out of storage. And we ended up, me, her, and my mom till midnight that night. I will never forget it. Because I had to be out the very next day.
At that point, that was really time.
So it was kind of like, oh my God, like, so we're just moving stuff so fast from house to storage house. And she allows me to come and stay. So I kept a few items that I obviously could have. And then I had access to my storage where I could go back and forth if needed. So she was like, you can just stay there until you find a place.
That's true.
Couple months. And I was like, okay. Almost like she was giving me like a deadline. And she's like, yeah, you can just stay here a couple months here, sign the lease, And did you do that?
You signed the lease?
Did you make me sign a lease? Oh, okay.
I don't think so.
Brain injury? No?
I don't know.
Okay. So anyway, so I ended up living with her for a couple months. And then that's when I think we went on was it not? Didn't we go on okay. Mm-mm. So that's when I kind of realized, what am I doing? Right? Like, what are you out here doing chasing all these chicken heads? And all these young girls that, don't want anything that you're not compatible with, because obviously when your heart's with someone, it's hard to, no matter how much you may not want it to be, it just kind of one of those things where it just is, right?
Yeah.
I'm not going to cry. I'm just saying, I'm not going to cry, and I don't want us to be sobby, okay? So
no need to be sobby.
I mean, it is Valentine's Day.
Oh my gosh, it is.
But,
what perfect time. I didn't think about that.
But so it was just like, oh my God, what am I doing? So it was a reality check for me to think, I'm out here doing all this stuff with, all these different girls, and nothing was just, I don't know, just, it's a feeling, it's a feeling where it's like, man, I can always go to this girl. This girl knows everything about me. None of my exes were helping me move. None of my friends were helping me move. None of them was giving me a place to stay. I mean, it was just like my mom, this girl, and my child, my oldest one at the time, because she was the only one that was old enough to actually help move. Mm-hmm. The others were real small at that time. And it was just like, what am I doing? What am I doing in life? Like, throw this away and let someone come along and actually grab her and then take her away. And then I'm not going to be able to call nobody because I'm like, hey, let me call this guy's wife. She's my best friend. That's not going to happen. So that's when it just kind of really stuck. And it was just like, I don't know. I mean, it was, I think I remember I said, because after about 6 months, I'm like, dude, either we have to move out.
Oh, that's right. Then it became another ultimatum.
Yeah, mm-hmm. It's like I have to, because I mean, my child at that time, my oldest one, was growing up in a loft, and it was supposed to be temporary. And then her and my son were actually, when he would come over and stay with us, he was actually
bunk
beds in the loft area. Yeah. And then our youngest, I had already had her room there. So it was like we had to walk through their loft area, their room, to get to our rooms. And I was just like, my child, you know, I think she was going into high school at that time. I'm getting close to. And I was like, she can't, you know, she's got to have her own room and stuff. So that's whenever it was like, you know.
What's our next decision? Like, what's our next thing?
And so I told her, I was like, either we move in together and we make this work and we give it another shot. Was it like the 15th?
A lot.
Or I've got to get my own place.
And I feel, and this right here is the critical moment where, if you watched our very first video of like why our marriage works, I can't remember what you named it, but when that forgiveness had to happen, like I had to say, okay, we're doing this again. You do anything again, I'm literally going to slit your throat. No, it's going to be bad. It will be really bad. Like,
just do not, acid just thing do you not. Keep talking about with the barrels in the back. Just put the acid in the.
No, but no, and
that's after.
There wasn't an ultimatum for that point either. But it was just like within my own mind frame, my own heart, my whatever. Like, is this really worth it? Given another chance?
Shot. Yeah, I totally understand.
But also, if it is, then nothing in the past has ever happened. Because if you think for 1 second I'm going to live with who's on your phone,
yeah, screw that.
I'm going to look over your shoulder. You go to the gym anytime you want. You go to bed. I mean, you do whatever you want.
Car.
I mean, again, yep.
With you following me.
That's the other video. Yeah.
Not riding with you, but I'm following you.
I do. I love you in the car in front of me. But no. So that was my. You decided that you loved me, which again, I'll throw that in there too. It was so organically. We talked about that. We've mentioned this before. Like, it still never would have worked
at the time
when I was 20 and pregnant, and you were that. If we tried anything, that would have never worked. I wasn't who I was. I wasn't in a place to offer up a house to live in. I mean, like, to be that. I just was not that person.
We'd have been both being.
I probably wasn't really nice.
Trying to force something that just wasn't there.
No.
Which could have ruined what we have today. Because if we had done that, you know, we took it to an extent of like, we dated or we talked on the phone or you came and stayed the night while other girls were in and out of the house. But we didn't force something that we weren't sure of. That's the way, you know, that's a good way to put it.
It was very casual. We were really, we were friends with benefits, and that's what it was. Best friends with benefits.
Do I got to cut this again? Like,
no, that's true. That's a thing. Is it not still a thing? Is that over?
Well, got to do the no kids button.
Anyway.
So back to the story though. Where were you at? Because at that time I was like, hey, we got to move in. So what was your thought? I wouldn't say what's your thoughts, but what was the next move? I'll let you say that.
I actually, and I think you know this, I think we talked about this too, but I don't, at the time I was still very like, in it. I had decided we could be together, but like, I didn't want him. I looked up a house and I went and looked at that house.
Okay. So hold on. Hold on. Before we even get to this, let's back this up just about a year. So when her parents found out that I moved in with her,